Yo, 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 I gotta say something, yo, not on top of the beat, cause I don't want anyone saying that I can't pronounce my own. So, yo, gotta pause. And now you gon' collect on my ass with some, whatever you call it, in every damn email I'm getting. I can't have my own things. I don't even put views on them, cause they ain't even mine. But I'm just trying to give. If we all gave, we would live. Don't you think? Freedom of speech can be lived. Freedom of speech shall be given from anyone who chooses that they were a victim of life at all. Okay, so I start to get so involved in the natural breathing of us all becoming the ones to being someone else's fortune. Yes, I hold the gift. Work, work, work. Until that's it. My dad died before the expectant retirement age. Yet he was retired, and he did live. I'm not gonna cut it off and delete it this time, because this is when I get the good stuff. I want to feel this for a second. My dad was what's up. I can be like that. I am my father's son, and I will give all that I can to be half the man he was. One for one on one, however it stand, bring it on. You're one for my one. I know you don't understand, but to some who have a mind to think of multiple meanings within a rhyme are the ones who could see what I'm seeing. I don't have the presence of mind to repeat it. I'd rather just go on, and that's what I'm gonna do. Because I'm born to the feeling of just living on in the moment. To be your one and only. Own it. Proclaim your own it. Well, how do we do that? What do we? Snort some air? As you can see, I have been delayed at a moment to not be the best that I can be. From the cold weather that which has been given at this present moment, I do not feel as motivated. At the same time, heightened in my mind, the chilling is giving me my rhymes. As I've always said, Winter is a writer's haven. I love it. I give it God-given performance. This is when it's all going to be known that we don't have to live for our own. We don't have to live to be owned. For our own are being owned. They are being told what someone else wants to tell them, and let them grow up in a way at which we are without them. I would rather see the days where a man, an actual man, grows up with his son. How do you do it? Land. Take him to the land at which none is bothered, at which we lived before us, in the forest, at which we can. Nothing is saying I can't go up north and live on my own until I get destroyed. But what if I knew something they don't? I can't say that because I really don't. But if there was some way I could get everybody to believe that the land is what's going on. I mean, give it up for Earth. Feel a bond with what you are sitting on, lying on, standing on. This is here before us. How? Stay with me. How is it that the earth that we live on is perfectly placed distance-wise from the sun to give us winter and summer, and thus live a normal nature with seasons? There is no other reason to believe that someone or something before us, possibly, probably, definitely, sorry to disagree, but obviously greater than us. When you wake up in the morning and you see the sun, as great of heat as it is, at the exact distance it needs to be to not burn us, but even let the cold birth a breath to the earth, so we can see that life was chosen from another source. We are life, so we are chosen. We are all a chosen performance. I'm going to just get on with it. The word I refer to as chosen, I really meant to say, is God. We are God-given performance. So you know what? I'm going to give it up for God for giving me every single thing I could have wanted and more, and saving me and blessing me and everything. From the past, from right now, and even though I don't know, I'm still thankful for what is to come. I don't know what it is. I can't see. But the way God's been treating me, I know I'm taken care of. That is like the feeling that needs to be. Just feel it. I can't believe it took me so long to preach it. But when I was young and I heard that such a thing as God exists, I believed as much as I could. And I gave my thoughts, my almighty presence, to believing that God was listening. But now the argument is, how does he fit in? I'm still young and I want to be popular, so I cursed like them. And I don't mean to hurt anyone who has ever cursed in their life. It is a word, and it is. But do not disturb. Just think positive. Love the earth. I say it again. If you have capabilities of saving the earth, we will forgive you, no matter who it is. A billionaire, a trillionaire, a Googleaire. As many dollars as you have, you won this game. Congratulations. You were richer than a lot of people. But there is better, because I know we're still all equal. So for the ones feeling pain, it is also the same for the ones who won the game. They must too feel the same. But we won't understand because we were less than them. But no, we are equal. They feel bad things just the same. Every single one of us, no matter how much money they have, they still are victims. It's just up to the fact that we have to forgive every single one of us as people You do not see other animals in captivating each other. We are the only ones sick enough to not forgive one another. I once saw a tiger eat a leopard. The fact of the matter is, the human greed has forced another animal to eat its cousin, for we did not let the land be. We progressed far past anything we needed to. It's not too late to go back. And even if it is, give it a shot. Because maybe you will last. With the grace of God, anything is possible. I say it as the great Anchuzi. Be mindful of this random inclusion. My name, the great Anchuzi. Spelt backwards. Pronounced as. I presumed when I found this gracious gift from God, giving us the words that we can flip around and play with. I am a great believer in etymology, which is the research and the origins and the meanings of words. The great Anchuzi. What is great these days? Choosy. Greed. Greed lets you choose. They're great and choosy. But if you spell it backwards, yes, we can, dear God. Believe. The great do not have to be choosy. Matter of fact, they'll be the ones contributing more than my ass. For the last 3 months, I haven't worked a single shift. I'll admit that. And you can click the Xbox and give me your disrespect. Or you could possibly go on with what else I'm about to say. I have not stopped working since 9 years old. While being in school, working weekends for a paper route, never taking vacation, except for once in my life. God bless. I got to go see my homeland, Malta. But that's coming in a minute. I went to school and did paper route 7 days a week combined for years until my weekend job changed to cleaning cars. And this was a prize. I could go deep into just this job alone. but I pause to proceed with the point I'm about to make for my 3-month break. I worked at this car wash for not as long as the paper routes. The paper routes I did for all 4 to 8, grade 4 to 8. 4 years. I had 4 to 9 routes every single weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And then I got the car wash weekends, both days. Not much longer after my brother opened his business, I worked weekends there. There was a point in time when I had worked for not only my brothers, but a landscaping company for a week at the same time. And I worked daytime and then litter pick at nighttime. And I held both jobs for a while. Mainly I was at the landscaping job. It's just like, I don't like being in the same place all the time. I had a lot of jobs. Oakville is a good place to find a job. It's productive. The people there spend their money, they eat out, they buy stuff. And at the same time, the kids are well raised because they have been supplemented with parents who can provide good for their child. That is what I just found out by exploring my mind auditorily. The only reason why people from successful families have successful children is because they can provide everything they need to make that child successful. But then sometimes, anyways, I'm working through high school. I worked half elementary school. I'm slowing down. I'm working part-time. I'm taking maybe 2 weeks, a month off between jobs, living rent-free at my mom and dad's. Not really looking for much. They got me enrolled in school. I took welding. But I didn't give a fuck. Because I thought it was a genius idea because I had won it really wasn't that much, but it was enough. $1,500 I won at the casino. And I said, you know what? Finally, I have money for everything. I don't have to worry about weed or alcohol, gas, the random bullshit, food, anything. I got money for a bit. I know I can hold on to this. What's the next step? What am I missing? And I couldn't help but think that I could possibly get away with just attempting the dumbest, but still unknown for me, but the dumbest thing that I did when I won that money from the casino is I thought I could try cocaine. I could just try it. I could say I got high, and then I would delete their number, and I'd just say goodbye. But the first time I didn't get high. So I tried a different guy. And he showed me what to do. The first guy just laughed at me. He took my money, he laughed at me. As I was trying to do it. He didn't tell me shit. He just... It's an experience for him. It's like, okay, this guy's actually buying cocaine for the first time. It's like, let's see how he thinks how to do it. I just literally took the rocks and shoved it up my nose. You have to break it down. So, the second time I learned. And I was like, that was the best thing in my life. I'm hooked. And that's what they tell you. But it was gambling that was the gateway. It was the fact that I was taken care of and I could make a stupid decision. It wasn't the weed. It wasn't the alcohol. I was fine just smoking weed and drinking alcohol. But when I gambled and I won, and it got even worse. So now, like, I'm gambling with money that I've won, taking it easy, just having fun, you know, still trying cocaine. I'm in welding school. I'm not passing. I already know I'm failing. And then all of a sudden, the casino, I win 9,600. I think, booyah. The present mind, when you're on cocaine, is just to lie, just to get through. So, I have the money that has been refunded to me from Mohawk. Or Sheridan. No, Oakville was Sheridan. Sheridan, the trade school. This is what I'm telling my dad and my brother. Yeah, they refunded me because I was supposed to make up a class that some person told me was in one place when it was really in another, and because she told me that it was in the wrong place, I got refunded my money for missing that one class that I needed to pass. And because she told me the wrong place, and I couldn't make it up after that, they had to refund me the money for the whole course. So I paid my brother back. And then I still had enough money to blow. But I gambled it. because it got to the point where it was like, I know this is not healthy. I would rather just gamble. Because you know what? When you're doing cocaine, you can do $10 every 30 minutes just to feel minimal. Whereas someone with an addictive personality, like a sports player, which I always knew I was, and if I was born in America and dad knew to push me and get me involved, I would have been the next Andrew Sheik. Because there's going to be no one like Andrew Sheik. I don't have to relate myself to anyone. I would have been everything. I knew I did it all. I was the best. I was the best. I had the mind. I was so athletic through my mind. I could see the plays the other team was doing. And I always came up with the big play. And every year in intramurals in grade school, my team, not just because of me, I had Jeff Burton, the tall guy who could throw the ball, and then I had Patrick Donnelly. I always had one of them. As long as they could throw the ball, I came down with it. And then on defense, I would get a pick or two. And then at the end of the game, I'd be like, I caught 2 touchdowns and I caught 2 interceptions. But I'm looking at myself like, I just played a whole lunch shift for 45 minutes and I only had 4 catches. Because the quarterback's trying to spread the ball out. And I was so disappointed in myself because I ran every single route like I was getting the ball. And they wouldn't throw it to me. And no one could cover me. But in all fairness, it's... And even if I was quarterback, I would walk down that field at whatever which way I wanted to. Obviously, going deep is the precaution you don't want to do. Because everyone sits deep, because everyone wants the deep play, the big play. I take the underneath routes to anyone I want to give it to. I know what they're capable of, and I will throw the ball accordingly to what position they are in and what skill level they're at to control. I have to loft it to some. Others, I can find a little bit farther down the field as they choose and give them a proper ball. Or in all fairness, I could tell 2 people to just stand up on either side of the field and go deep and pick which side was less favored. And I would throw it up, and because he was running start to finish, and I made sure of it, just go as fast as you can, and I will put the ball there. They always came down with it. But when I huddle up, I didn't want them to know it. I only called that play if we were actually down for a reason where I wasn't playing football at the moment. And I came in and they put me on the losing team. and I have all the worst players because all the other players who think they're hot shots have to beat me. They have to be the team that beat me, and I would play with all the nerds. And they'd throw it to me. And then all of a sudden we got a touchdown. And they're like, okay, our team's shit. And then all the good players come to my team. And now we have a fair game of the people who have pride against the people who just want to win. Because I'm Sheik. I ran that shit. It didn't matter. It's too late now. I'm fucking addicted. In 2 years, I could clean myself like nothing. I already have God-given performance. I know how to do it. The system has made me aware of what you have to do just to be perfect, to move nowhere in life, to still succumb detention. And if I got detention in school, I went. And I actually did my homework. Because they're looking. So what, am I just going to sit there? My brothers would help me if I said I needed it. But I did enough to pass without doing any homework. Always needed improvement on my homework. I didn't do any homework, but I showed up in class. I heard what you said. Okay, it means this. It's an opinion. You don't know what's correct. Only God knows. We don't know a thing. And that's what I lived off. Because I've known God for longer than I can even remember. I live in the moment. Because God knows me. God knows me that I've needed thee. So with that bond, I'm taken care of. God has gifted me my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my nieces, my nephews, my uncles, my aunts, everyone. We all are each other. Give it up for just boasting about yourself. Take it. I felt it. I know. I was the best. I was the best. I had it. But I was slow. When I went to practice in high school, everyone else had the pads. Me being minded already foresaw the people with the pads were more likely to be starters because they didn't miss any time. The season started before the actual school year began. I had no way of knowing that because I didn't give a shit about school to begin with. I just wanted to be on the team. But for you to do that, you have to read what they are telling you in the transcript, transferring you to high school. They know kids are hyped up about football. So let them get into it before. But I fucked that up. And I just thought, they are giving me the most bullshit fucking drills. I can't even prove myself. If I had those fucking shoulder pads on, that fucking helmet on, I could have played any fucking position on that field. But they got me fucking running in circles and fucking doing push-ups and all this. I did them. Yo, push-ups legit. But it's the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? Yo, we didn't do anything. I disagreed. I should have had pads. I should have been exempt. My teacher told my mother I should try out for the next year football. But I didn't because I didn't know the tryout date. I didn't care to listen to announcements. I was usually late, smoking a doop, because it relieved my post-traumatic stress. It felt so good. And it wasn't until I realized Ricky Williams was the same thing. He was the greatest football player, the most underrated football player, would run through anyone for 5 yards. Played for Miami, who's never even been in a Super Bowl and made them look like a fucking half-decent team. What the fuck does Miami know about a complex sport like football? You go to New York, you go to Boston, you go to Los Angeles. Who's there now? Kansas City and New Orleans, other than Boston and Los Angeles. And they're there all the time. They know how to play sports. Some would argue they have more revenue. But how did they do that in the first place? People wanted to live there. There was more people there. In the end, we want to be with more people. We want to be where everything's at. Still, yo, I was the best. I was fucking shit. I ran that shit. I had long arms to compensate. I didn't have to compensate. I was the shit. I was born to be, man. I knew it. I didn't play enough sports as a kid. And when I went to tryouts in elementary school, you fill out a paper, and at the bottom it says, what experience? And even though I told them I fucking played my ass off, I get picked first, I do jiu-jitsu, because in all fairness, they could have gave it to me. Give your kids sports, man. Oh my god. And music. Oh my god. I wish I'd stuck with music earlier. Sports and music. And get them to cook. Fuck. Those, if you get a kid and you teach these things to them as early as possible, first, sports or art. Sports, because they're moving. They gotta move. Get them moving. Move, 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 move. Now, They have a mind. They can talk. They are capable of art. Push them to art. And when they are capable, teach them to eat. And just give it to them. Make sure they know it. Don't give up on them. Show them they are worth it. You love them. We know you love us. And sometimes the world chooses a way that is not the same as what I've said. But it will still be deserving.